I've got with me one of my awesome students, Zach. Zach teaches EDM and he teaches melodic bass producers how to produce, and he's made a killing teaching people and coaching people. Zach, tell them a little bit more about the details of what you do since I am only giving them a brief.
Yeah. Well, it did start like that with just melodic bass. And now it has expanded to more genres. We actually just kind of went through a name change, but don't just help artists with just the music side, but more importantly, help them with what's needed after you have good music, which really comes down to how you brand and market yourself, specifically through social media and content. But yeah, man, it's been a ride, dude, and I still at kind of a loss for words with everything that's happened over the last year.
Yeah, it's been super cool, man. I mean, you've made so much progress and we actually got to meet in person. So it's been a big old thing, but kind of run us through like the situation you were kind of in before joining this program.
Yeah. So before I joined, I can't remember when we did our podcast interview together. So there was a point, I guess we'll start there, where I saw your content when I was going into more of the business stuff. I think I just related with you and I was like, hey, I want to do a podcast with this guy. So I reached out and we set that up. And I just remember at the time, dude, you saying that podcasts are the best way to get free coaching. But hey, it was really a trial run for what was to come in the future. So yeah, I think in the time that we did that, I went through quitting music after a really huge year of my life, just got super burnt out, which is really the spark that ignited me to start this business. But along that process, I was like, I need help. I need a community. I need a mentor, etc. And I was going to sign up for, funny enough, Matt Gray's program, my my Gray brother. He's not my brother, but his last name's Gray. So, and then I got on a call with someone else who I knew from the past. That ended up to be my first business coach, and he had a community and an event. It helped me for a little bit, but when it came down to just like tactical, what exactly do I do for me? That kind of stuff wasn't there. And so at the time, I was doing one-on-one coaching, which was cool for a little bit, but some of the students were a lot, and it got kind of frustrating. And then we see challenges and workshops all the time. And so I was like, I'm going to throw my own masterclass. And so I threw two masterclasses. And I was just at a point, man, where with just the one-on-one coaching and the masterclasses, just chasing down people who really weren't that serious and all the work that had to go into it. I just remember after the second masterclass, I was super frustrated, right? I wasn't making enough money and I was putting a lot of work into what I was doing, what I was trying. And I remember seeing some piece of content that you made. And I don't even think the piece of content like went viral or whatever, but it just spoke to exactly what I was dealing with. Right. And instead of leaving this super vulnerable comment on the post, I just sent you a message instead. Like, hey man, this super resonated with me. I'm super frustrated. I don't know what to do. And I think at 7 p.m. at night, you were like, hey dude, you want to jump on Zoom? And I was like, yes. And then the second thought was, I'm going to buy whatever she's selling, probably. Like most likely that's it. And then dude, we had a great call, and I was really just praying that the firm would go through, and then it did. And here we are, dude. So that's the follow up, man.
The really funny part about that is I think that post that you're talking about, I remember the post, it got like 2 likes. Like my mom liked it and then you liked it. And like
Yeah.
it didn't do anything. It wasn't like a viral post or anything by any means, but it ended up getting you as a client, which was super cool.
Yeah.
So you were working with another coach, did a little bit, and then you worked with me, and then you were praying that a firm is like a lender, and it went through, and we got you on board, man. I guess what was like the biggest thing you learned out of this program? Like what made such a shift for you?
Yeah. The biggest thing I told you the other day was taking all the ideas that I had for at that point, I think like 5 different offers and putting them in one. So the 5 offers were community, one-on-one coaching, courses. I guess the masterclass could be its own thing too. And then coaching, right? So whatever, 4 or 5 different offers. And the biggest thing that you helped me with, man, was just taking all these ideas and putting them into one thing. And so I think just this light bulb went off of, hey, you can do all this stuff, but why not package it together into one thing?
Mhm.
And so, dude, that was really, really light bulb. And then I think the real first things were the follower ad into how to DM people. And I already had some sales training. So putting those all together, dude, was just this thing that ignited all the, how do I say this? I had been working on my business and learning so much over the past year. And I think as entrepreneurs or business owners, there's so many people out there with great advice. But really, it comes down to like, what am I going to do for me? Like, what is my offer going to be? And how am I going to roll this out? How am I going to get leads? How am I going to sell? What's the package going to be? How am I going to fulfill, etc.? And so all these different thoughts that I had in my mind, you helped me just put those together into one thing. You helped me develop what the offer was going to be. You helped me decide how to price it. And then you took all this stuff that I already did, which is also really cool. Like I already did the masterclass. And so, hey, well, what's the core of my course going to be in my community? It's like, oh, dude, you already have all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, dude, it's like I had all this stuff, man. And so really, man, the biggest thing, like I told you the other day, was just putting everything together inside of one thing that worked for what I was doing. And really, bro, it was a duplicate in a way from what you're doing. And so, dude, just to see the model already work and just do it in my own way was incredible, man. That was to me, besides working with you one-on-one and everything else that you bring in all the videos, that I think was the biggest thing for me.
I think it's super wild because sometimes we as entrepreneurs are so scatterbrained and we do so many things and we have so many assets in different places. We joke about this all the time, but we're just like, you're like the most valuable thing you told me is just put it all in one. And then that was kind of the shifter for you. So sometimes we just have so much stuff and it's just little tweaks that make the biggest difference. And that's what happened to you. But I think that you were like one of the people that made their investment back like the soonest. I think it was like the next day or something like that. I think you posted in the community and you were like, oh, I made a sale like the next day.
Yeah. Well, dude, what's really funny is that sale, that first sale didn't ever pay me anything, just kind of funny, but I did close the deal. Right. Mm-hmm. But dude, look, regardless of that, I signed up in February. Okay. I made $30,000 in March.
That's amazing.
So regardless of the timeline of that sale or the other sales that happened after it, like, I mean, dude, and I think that was a massive moment, right? There was one moment before I signed up with you where it's like, I made my first 10K sale.
Yeah.
I got $10,000. That was like an incredible light bulb moment, but to in March make as much money as I used to make in an entire year, that was like, I don't even know, man. Beyond grateful. And
what was
dude,
that like, man? Like, what did that feel like in March when that happened?
Well, I think back now, and I did that all by myself, dude. Like I have a team now, mm-hmm. right? And I guess the future pace, like I met my like right hand man from your community, so that's also the power of putting yourself inside of these groups and communities and investing, because you got to be in the places where other people are willing to do the same thing. But dude, that month, I don't know, man. I think I had the drive, I had the motivation, I had the authority, I had the experience, right? But to turn all of those things into something where you can have someone pay you what you really think you're worth for that, especially when it's something that's like actually helpful to someone else. Like, dude, there's really no words to truly describe how amazing that is. And to know that with the right information and the right support, all these dreams of money and success or impact, it's like they're all possible. And you gave me the keys to unlock that, man. Like, and I would say, but half of it is my willingness to invest in myself. And then half of it is the actual right skills that with all those other things are just an unlock. And if you just listen and you execute and you're willing to work your butt off, you can do it, man. And so after that month, dude, my whole perspective on what was possible changed overnight.
Man, so okay, we know what happened to you in March. I guess how did like doing this program, like getting this all worked out, how did it affect your life since then? Like, how has your life been different since before you signed up?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say I say all of this with humility, but also confidence. Okay. My business has done over $300,000 in a little over a year. And I've listened to people like Hermosi and other people talk about how long it took them to just make $100,000. And so just thinking about that as a frame, and granted, like Chris, we're friends now, and there's still so much to do. There's still the process of refining and optimizing your business, and not every month is great. Mm-hmm. But dude, to say that I have worked with north of like 60 artists now. To say that I've brought in that much revenue, and really the money's not everything, right? But to say that I've been able to bring in that much revenue in my first like year and a half in business, like, dude, is insane. It's like I really feel like this. We hear stuff on social media where it's like just disappear for a year and your life can change,
Mhm.
right? Dude, I'm a example of that. It's crazy to think that. It's like, dude, I really did focus, lock in, invest in the right people. And a year later, year and a half later, dude, my life is completely different. Like I have a team of like 6 people. I got married to my wife, and this is all glory to God too, right? But I put in the work, man. And when I had the right support and I implemented the right things, it's like, dude, I feel like there's nothing that I can't do now. And so my life is a 180 difference from where it was when you first met me. And
That's
now I'm back. The last thing I'll say, man, is now I'm back to like doing my music and launching a label and taking everything that I've been building and turning it back into the passion that started this all along, man, which is my own music.
Yeah. So you were saying earlier that you were doing music, you got burnt out, you started doing coaching, and then now the passion is kind of back. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, so dude, I've been doing music for 20 years. That's been my only goal ever. Right. And through that process, I was a server at a restaurant. Right. And so, um, especially when I was about 32, man, really went through my kind of real come to Jesus moment. And so I was looking at the industry and I saw what I saw. I saw the people around me and I saw what was happening. And I literally, man, I got so burnt out. And this was honestly like one of my biggest years that I've ever had, right? Over 100 million streams so far, playing huge festivals. But dude, I literally didn't want to do it anymore. And so that year, going back to working at a restaurant, I was like, I have so much experience. I have a heart to help people. And I really want to take everything I've learned and all the pain I've experienced. And I want to try to help as many people as I can not go through that same stuff or help them get towards their goal, even just a little bit sooner than they might have without knowing what I know. And so what's really cool about everything that's happened, man, is like my experience and my pain has turned into something that's been able to help so many people. And through that ministry, through that business that I have, now it's reignited my own passion for my own music because now I've kind of built a whole new infrastructure, a whole new thing underneath myself where now when I'm doing my music, it's like I don't need to rely on a label. I don't need to rely on these other things. And that's ultimately the stuff I'm teaching these artists is, hey, if you figure out good music and good content, you can get to the point where you are your own leverage. If you can build the audience and you can do the things that you need to do to promote yourself. And yeah, if you do want to get signed to a record label, you have leverage because you've built the audience. And then I guess the last thing is most labels aren't even going to sign any artists these days unless they're already doing the things that the label can't do for them. Right. And then so really, man, the big thing for me too, dude, especially because, I'm a faith-based entrepreneur, I'm a Christian. It's like, I want to bring to the music scene, not only the ability for, maybe people that are Christian or whatever to exist in the world and build their own thing and not feel like they can't speak up or say anything about whatever, but also create a new music industry where maybe it's not all Christian based for everything. Granted, I have a Christian song and I want to keep making stuff like that, but just have a more wholesome type place inside the music industry, maybe more family friendly. But I'm able to bring my faith, my morals, and everything I've experienced into creating a space where I'm giving artists the help that I genuinely feel like they actually need to be successful and not feel like they need to rely on all these external factors, all the traditional stuff that they've been bred to think that they need: manager, label, booking agent, PR company, etc.
Yeah. I love that, man. You were like kind of struggling with something and then you started showing other people how to do it so they didn't have to struggle. And then now like it reignited something for you and like you're back to like doing the thing you're like insanely passionate about. So that's amazing, man. Um, so I know there's like you said, like the relationships are super important, right? Like you, so what we did, I remember you sent me a picture of a Range Rover the
Mm.
first time that you hit 100K in like 5 months or something like that, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And so I used that as an ad, and I we ended up meeting in Vegas, and like we've made so many connections. And like you said, we're friends now. And dude, like you've made me so much money, like just from like you being my client, you've made me like probably like 60, $70,000 or something like that. And then just like that alone, and then plus like using you as an ad and then you just telling everybody like by how much like your life has changed. It's just gotten other people to like get the conviction to like want to sign up with me. So I really thank you for that, man. But at the same time, you said something earlier, like you got your right hand man from another student that was in my community. Like tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, let's touch on the Range Rover and then the money I've made you. Yeah, man, I was able to get like the first car on my dream cars, be able to actually afford that with what I've been making now. And then, dude, the reason why you've made so much money from me is because whenever I see someone who is a creative entrepreneur trying to help anyone else, there's only one thing in my mind that they need to do. And granted, yes, there's people that I help, as much as I can. But if someone's like really serious and they're looking for something or they ask me, it's like, dude, it's a no brainer. I mean, dude, like I'm not an official salesman for you, but dude, when I get on the call with them, it's not even a sell, dude. It's the truth.
Hmm.
And that is the best way to really sell anything is just be completely honest, man. The reason why people have signed up is because they can hear the conviction and the belief in my voice. And my life now is proof. And so, like thinking about all the people who I know just got off the phone with Kevin today talking about something else is like, dude, I know what their life is like now. And I know what it was like before. And so, dude, like Chris, I love you, man. And you are one of the main people who like completely changed my life. And so, dude, especially if someone's like a creative entrepreneur, it's like, dude, what do I do? Go work with Chris. Like, that's it, man. On the last thing you said, which is Vig, who's my right hand man, the two business coaches I've had, some helped me more than others. We know Sean Malone's been a very good friend of mine. He's been like my grandfather business coach at FlowChat. Some of my best friends have come from the groups and events from my business coach. Like even my first business coach is where I met one of my best friends now. And then your group is where I met my literal right-hand man. He's helped me so incredibly much. And I have literally, dude, I don't know what I would do right now if it wasn't for Vig.
That's
like,
cool.
Dude, it's wild, bro. Like I'm so grateful for that dude. And I think it's really cool because, he had an offer and, it ended up not being something he was as passionate about. And I kind of like saw that and I said, hey man, like, what do you think about this? And so, and I think this is a big point I'm sure you want me to hit, Chris, is just investing in yourself, right? Because it is scary to spend thousands of dollars on education or learning a skill.
Mhm.
But to me, it does three things. One is it proves to yourself that you actually care about the thing that you say you care about. And you're willing to do what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And then the second thing about spending the money is it actually makes you do the work. And if it's too cheap, like we've talked about in the past, you're not going to do anything. Like if your course was $100, it's like, I wouldn't have done anything. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. And then the third thing it does is it puts you in the room with other people who've been willing to do the same thing. And whether it was, me or Vig, it's like, maybe you'll sign up to something and realize like, hey, I'm not that stoked about my offer, but I just met someone I'm going to partner with. Or now I have, friends regardless of what I do. Right. And then for me and you and our relationship, Chris, I think, I guess the last and the bonus is, hey, if there's someone who you respect and you want to work with and you want to have a closer relationship with, go buy their offer.
100%.
So, I mean, dude, I could go on. I think like investing in the right things. Okay. The last thing I want to say is there's no one thing that is going to change your life. Right. And it might be freaking 3, 4, 5 business coaches before you actually like really do the thing. I don't know who's listening to this, but I just want to tell anyone out there that your willingness to continue to invest in yourself and continue to put yourself in the right rooms, like that is, I think, the single best thing that you can do, regardless of exactly the perfect outcome or result or exactly key that you want to learn. It is the action of doing that I feel like creates the momentum. It creates the urgency and it creates the energy that every other successful person has gone through. Like how many people do we know? It's like the only reason why they are where they are is because they spent so much money to get in the room or learn the thing. It's like, dude, how many people at Funnel Hacking Live, their story wasn't, oh, I bought this offer and then. It's So, dude, it's like a rite of passage, man. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, what you're saying is extremely true. Just being in the room, even if you don't, I've been in the room and haven't learned anything. Well, let's just say I didn't learn anything, but I
Yeah.
was just around people. I remember recently when we were in Vegas, I was just around people who were charging so much more money than I was, but
Mhm.
just teaching a fraction of what I teach. And I don't say that to be like, oh, I'm teaching everything, but they literally just taught one aspect of it. So I teach offer marketing sales. They just taught sales or just marketing or just creating an offer. And they
Yeah.
charged like over double what I charged. And I was like, I am not going to be the cheapest person in the room.
Yeah.
And I went home and immediately like increased my price. And it changed nothing about my sales process.
Yeah.
The people who said we're going to say yes, they said yes. The people that were going to say no, they said no. Nothing changed. All I did was make more money because I was in a room around people who were throwing out bigger numbers. And so even if I didn't learn anything, I was just like, I'm not being the cheapest person in the room. Went home, increased my price, and changed the business. So what you're saying about being in the right room, man, is just like so true. What would you say, man, like to somebody who's like, I know like this is the internet.
Yeah.
Sometimes people see me or you on an ad, 24 hours later get on a call. There's a lot of people that are like skeptical about scams and stuff like that, man. Like what would you say about someone who's scared of that?
Okay. Well, let me say one sentence that describes what we just talked about.
Hmm.
Proximity accelerates success. Being close to other people who've been successful is going to accelerate your own success. What would I tell the people who are skeptical? Man, lady, whoever, life has already scammed you. That's what I would say. And it's okay to feel skeptical. And it's definitely okay to feel scared, right? Everyone who ever made the decision to work with me or work with you or insert any of the other people who have spent a lot of money to work with whoever, they were all scared. When you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on something and you're not a little nervous, then you're probably a psychopath, right? But the biggest changes in your life are going to come with usually the scariest decisions in life too. But if you're not willing to take a risk or show up for yourself or put your money where your mouth is, no one is ever going to do that for you. And if anyone's listening to this and y'all want to talk to me about Chris, hit me up. I'll tell you. Or just go back and listen to what I've already said.
Love it, man. When you said something really, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but just so that like anybody who's watching this does, like when you say life has already scammed you, like what do you mean?
Dude, I mean, what's the quote about I think it's in I think it's even in the Bible. It's like my people are like lost for lack of knowledge, right? And so I think most people are where they are because they don't have the knowledge to actually implement the thing or the knowledge that even these things exist, like how to start a business or this stuff. And the incredible thing about the internet is that there are these people out there who publicly have businesses. And the fact that they even have offers to help you with your business is such a golden opportunity, right? Granted, yes, there are out there. Okay. Yes, there are people out there scamming people 100%.
Yeah.
Right. But when I say life's already scammed you, how the school system is set up, how the credit system is set up, how like most jobs are you're working for someone else, you're making enough to barely survive. And the reason why you're going to get in credit card debt is because there's no way to actually enjoy your life with the amount of money that normal people make. And so life's already scammed you. If you don't figure out how to make a business or make more money, you're going to be literally enslaved to the system your entire life. And you're not ever really going to get out of that. Because, bro, I think to myself, even in, I mean, dude, we run a business. It's like every business owner has debt. But, dude, if I didn't have the ability to make money, like, dude, I understand now when, people say it's like, dude, you're just drowning. There is no escaping. And so the scam, most people are already living in. They're already in debt. They're not making enough money, and it's only going to get worse. And so you either make a decision to go all in on yourself and to be your own boss and to do the thing, or you say, hey, this is too hard, it's too scary, and you just go back to that. And I'm not saying that that is not the right like thing for most people. And I'm not saying that like people in debt or have a mortgage. I'm not saying they have like a terrible life. But what I am saying is this: if you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you want your life to be better, and or you have something that you genuinely are passionate about that you feel like could help other people, I feel like regardless of what you believe, Christian, whatever, I think everyone has a purpose. And I think that purpose is you are here to serve someone else in only the way that you can. And that's your duty. And if you don't do that, I think you are missing a large part of what it means to be here on this earth and what it means to follow your purpose, your calling, whatever you want to believe. Right. And the last thing I'll say is like, this isn't for everyone. Like being a business owner is not for everyone. It's really not for the faint of heart. It's the truth. Like I'd be lying if I didn't say like this was a ton of work. Right. But it has been the most worthwhile thing I've ever done in my entire life. And so if any of this resonates with you, like work with the person, work with the people, do the thing that's going to get you to that next level. And so just to wrap up the scam thing is like our system is set up to keep most people in that rat race, in that hamster wheel. And people are content and happy doing that. Right. But the truth is what do we really want in life? It's not really about money, but it's about freedom. Right. It's about freedom to be able to go take your family on vacation or to buy your wife or your husband something nice or to do these things. Right. And the only way to truly get to the point where you have that freedom, at least as far as I know, is you got to make a business. You got to make something valuable enough where someone's willing to pay you a lot of money to help them. I could go on, but yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, for sure, man. I love it. Well, I appreciate you sharing all this, man. Just to wrap up, man, like any last words, like what would you say to somebody who's kind of afraid to invest in themselves? They're like, I can't afford it. I don't have the money, but they really want to do it. They're on the fence. They just need that little nudge. Like, what would you say to somebody?
Yeah. So a couple things with that. So there's been so many times in everyone's life where some unexpected bill comes up. Tax bill, car bill, emergency, medical, whatever. Right. And like, oh man, this costs thousands of dollars. Like I got to find the money. Right. And most of the time, what does everyone do? They figure it out. Right. And those situations aren't in your control. I mean, usually, right? There's just something unexpected that comes up. And whether you want to believe in fate or luck or whatever, but like things come up that cost a lot of money. Right. And usually you didn't physically choose to like want to pay that money at that time. Right. And so when we think about changing our life, why aren't we willing to do that for ourselves? Right. And here's the truth is there's no difference between a self-made billionaire and insert whoever's listening to this right now. The difference is resourcefulness. Right. And so if you care enough about something and you're willing to make it happen, you will find a way. And if you're not serious, you'll find an excuse.
Dude, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, I love you, bro. I mean, dude, you're one of my greatest friends now, and you're someone who I massively respect. And I want to say thank you because I know your story, and I know the only reason I'm here right now and the way I am, Chris, is because you've been willing to make that decision for yourself in the past. So, dude, and I'll end with this, okay? You don't understand what effect your decisions can have on someone else. And this is actually a really cool thing that I really like, man. And I tell some of my students this, I'm like, I had to go through all the stuff I had to go through to build the business, not because God loves me. I mean, he does, but because he loves the person that I'm supposed to serve. And I had no idea who any of these people were before any of this. Right. And now I have some of the most amazing people around me. Right. And I've seen the effect that my decisions have had on other people. And I've seen that my friend group, my close circle, it's like these people wouldn't even exist unless you made that decision a long time ago, Chris. I mean, maybe in a different way. I don't know. But it's like, dude, you don't understand what your decisions of taking risks and investing in yourself like can do for someone else. And so maybe instead of thinking like, hey, this is scary, I don't have the money, like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's like, you need to be thinking about the impact this decision on you doing your business is going to have on people that you've never even met yet.
Thanks for bringing that up, man. I honestly like that's never really crossed my mind.
Well, it doesn't because we're all thinking about ourselves and our own decisions. But dude, the decisions that we make have serious impacts on people's life in the future. And if you don't go in on yourself and you don't start that business, there is I don't even know how many people that their life's not going to change because you weren't willing to change your own.
That's a mind bender right there. But
Yeah.
it's completely true, man. I mean, everything that's happened, like just with us, the trickle effect and kind of what I was saying earlier. It's just like I helped you. You brought me a bunch of clients. You got this life-changing thing. You got friends that have intermingled. I just spoke with Sean about getting this. Like it is so much has happened.
Yeah.
And so it's just all just like decisions that we don't really think are important at the time, but it just has such this crazy waterfall effect. It's amazing. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for jumping on with me, man. I think that's really helpful for somebody to hear. And yeah, if you guys are watching this and you want to get help with growing your coaching business or your mentorship business, I'm going to leave a link down below so that you can schedule a call. But thank you again, Zach, for jumping on, man. This is truly, truly amazing, man.
Of course, bro. Anytime. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, brother.